Ever wondered what it would feel like to sit through a movie where everyone is doomed from the start? No hero to save the day, no final escape. These 10 films plunge audiences into stories of darkness, despair, and a relentless end. No one makes it out alive. Shadows over Elmwood. In the small, forgotten town of Elmwood, ancient forces lurk beneath the innocent-looking trees. One Halloween night, a group of teenagers gathers for a camping trip, thinking they'll spend the evening sharing ghost stories. But when they stumble upon an old ritual site, they release something far worse than their imaginations could have conjured. The evil that awakens is ancient and all-encompassing, stalking them through the foggy forest. The more they run, the more they are led deeper into the heart of darkness. Each member is consumed by the forest's shadows, leaving only echoes of their screams and the feeling that the trees are somehow closer, somehow alive, feeding on their terror. Shipwrecked, descent into abyss. In the dead of night, a research crew sails into uncharted waters, drawn by rumors of an undiscovered island. When they finally glimpse it, an eerie silence shrouds the land. At first, they are excited by the mysterious beauty, but soon, strange things begin to happen. Shadowy figures appear in the fog, and crew members begin disappearing one by one. As the survivors try to leave, the island's curse pulls them back. Their attempts to flee only bring them face to face with the unknown horrors hidden in the island's depths. By the time the sun rises, the waters are calm again, and the ship is empty, forever swallowed by the misty shores. End of the line. One late night, an ordinary subway ride becomes a nightmare for a group of passengers. When their train grinds to a halt in an abandoned section of the line, they are thrust into darkness. Claustrophobic and surrounded by strangers, tensions begin to rise. Then come the whispers, the flickering lights, and an overwhelming feeling that they are not alone. Something unnatural is lurking in the shadows, stalking each of them as they frantically search for an escape. But every corridor and doorway seems to lead only to more dead ends and horrifying visions. Each survivor confronts their greatest fear alone, until all that's left is silence, broken only by the distant hum of the subway rails. The Hidden Ones. On Halloween night, a group of college friends breaks into an old mansion, infamous for its terrifying history. They laugh off the eerie legends, daring each other to explore the place as they film their adventure. But as they delve deeper, they begin to see strange apparitions, ghostly figures that seem to emerge from the walls. One by one, the friends fall victim to the vengeful spirits who guard the estate. Their once cheerful faces become etched with terror as they realize there is no way out. By the morning, the mansion is once again silent, and the spirits are content, having claimed more souls to guard its cursed halls. The Abandoned Asylum. Known for its horrific history, Lakeview Asylum stands forgotten on the edge of town. Drawn by rumors of ghostly sightings, a team of paranormal investigators sneaks in to film their findings. The walls are marked with strange symbols, and doors slam shut behind them. At first, they think it's a prank, but as the night goes on, they become lost in the twisting hallways. The asylum itself seems to be alive, shifting rooms and drawing them deeper into its haunted core. Each investigator meets a gruesome end, leaving the asylum filled with eerie silence once more, waiting for the next set of visitors to dare its halls. The Devil's Forest. In a dense ancient forest far from civilization, an adventurous couple decides to camp for a weekend getaway. As night falls, they stumble upon a strange circle of bones hidden beneath a massive oak tree. Unbeknownst to them, they've awakened an ancient curse tied to the forest. As they try to leave, they find that every path leads them back to the circle, where sinister forces gather strength. Exhausted and terrified, they run deeper, only to find that they are being hunted. By the time the search party arrives, all they find is the campsite and a trail of disturbed leaves. as if no one had ever been there. Under the crimson moon, a blood-red lunar eclipse draws a group of friends to a remote cabin on the mountains. The night starts as a fun gathering, but soon the eerie red glow casts shadows that twist and move, stalking them. As midnight approaches, they're terrorized by a masked figure that appears only in darkness. Every time they turn on the lights, they think they're safe, until the figure finds another way to strike. The friends' bonds of friendship crumble under the terror, and one by one they disappear into the shadows. By morning, the cabin is silent, bathed in the eerie glow of dawn, with only blood-stained footprints as a haunting reminder. The Forgotten Village. A forgotten village, untouched by time and hidden from maps, waits to claim those who dare wander into its borders. A group of travelers, lost and weary, stumbles into the quaint village, greeted by seemingly kind locals. But as the night wears on, they sense something is terribly wrong. They're invited to stay for a feast, which turns out to be a ritual where they are the main course. The village harbors a dark cult that worships ancient gods, demanding sacrifice. As the last member of the group screams into the night, the villagers continue their feast, awaiting their next guests with cold smiles. Final countdown. The aftermath. In a post-apocalyptic world, a small group of survivors finds refuge in an underground shelter, hidden from the wastelands above. But soon, strange occurrences plague them, voices in the night, supplies mysteriously disappearing, and an insidious sense that they are being watched. Tensions run high as suspicion builds, each survivor fearing the other. It doesn't take long for paranoia to consume them, and they begin to turn on one another, each attack feeding the supernatural presence that haunts them. In the end, the shelter stands empty, its halls echoing with the remnants of despair, as if the air itself is haunted. The Unseen Watcher. In a picturesque lakeside cabin, a family reunion becomes the scene of unimaginable horror. As the sun sets, they begin noticing oddities, the sound of footsteps, the feeling of being watched, and shadows that move on their own. Soon, they realize that an unseen entity has taken residence in the cabin. Desperate to escape, they run to the car only to find it won't start. Every exit is blocked, and the unseen presence grows more powerful with each passing hour. One by one, each family member succumbs to the terror, their screams swallowed by the cabin's eerie silence. By morning, the cabin stands serene and untouched, as if the events of the night were nothing more than a terrible dream. These 10 films test the courage of even the most hardened horror fans. They remind viewers that some horrors are insurmountable, that in certain worlds, survival isn't an option, and that the darkness will always claim its due.